Why? Why did I do that? Hmm. Not sure why I did that. Let me update that. Hold on, I'll update that video. Why is that? That's interesting. Let me update that. 913. Alright, there we go. Now it should be updated. Not sure why that did that. There we go. He edited that. There we go. Alright. Updated that. Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. I know Monday Night Football is on. I am watching it actually. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully everyone had a good day today. I got futures pulled up, so we'll go over that. We'll start with there. Let me actually update that. Alright, yeah, I did. Small glass bourbon tonight. I still have COVID though. That's the funny part. I actually been already. I think it's been like 3 weeks, and I'm still testing positive for COVID. It's insane. I don't understand. Insanely crazy. SPRT is live streaming. Welcome guys. Welcome. Welcome in. Welcome in. Ravens are winning right now. I like that. I like it. All right. Let's kind of get started so everyone can kind of go on with their night. When does my actually that's the funny part. I didn't lose my taste actually. My taste and my smell I didn't lose. That's really weird. But I pretty much got every other symptom that there was pretty much. Up to 90. Yee. I hope that doesn't happen. We'll see. Yeah, I also got pneumonia with it, so not a good sign. But it is what it is. I'll get back to my normal self sooner or later. Pretty much let's get started with futures. We'll see what's going on. Pretty much what I'm looking at is an ascending channel. We're pretty much right at a key level here tomorrow. We're going right into CPI data. If I pull up the economic calendar here, I know Thomas was screaming it today. We have the CPI data, which is pretty much going to tell us inflation. That's what we're really going to be looking at tomorrow on that core CPI data. That's really going to tell us that inflation, is it going to bring in the fear into the market, or maybe are we going to rally if numbers are better than expected? So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. But what I'm really looking at is the next daily candle that's going to be pushing here. This is really what I'm more interested in. Are we going to hold above the support on the futures here? Or are we actually going to break down at this point in time? Being that this channel is pretty extended for the most part. We already made one, two, three, four waves up on this ascending channel. So are we actually going to see that daily candle, the next daily candle tomorrow, is it going to break below the support? Or is it going to hold and we see some kind of rally? I do expect to see a push overnight. That's pretty much been the theme, is that we get a nice gap up. So I would expect to see right around that level, close enough to 45.29, where we'll see a nice gap up going into that 8. I believe it's 8:30 that the data's coming out. Yeah, 8:30. That data's coming out, and then we'll see what it is after that. If market decides to rally, if numbers are better than expected, or if fear comes into the market. And then, of course, I also expect some remarks from, I also saw there was some news that came out, maybe not news, but reports from Kaplan that he's fearing how bad the inflation might be, and that he was selling out positions in September that he was pretty much stated before. So moving on, pretty much that's futures right tomorrow. Like I mentioned, the next daily candle tomorrow is pretty much going to tell a story, in my opinion. We'll see whether that holds or not on that support. As far as Nasdaq, let me push it down to the 4 hour. I pretty much had a sideways channel. That's basically what we had. We ended up breaking that channel on Friday. We ended up getting a nice little gap up back this morning, which was not what we expected after that Oracle put alert. So we ended up gapping up. We ended up making the next leg lower though, and that pretty much created basically a broadening descending wedge is what you would call that. And so again, based on the data tomorrow, we'll see if we re-enter into this channel, or hopefully this support that was support is now resistance, and we'll see us make, we'll hit that resistance and then likely make another leg down, which will be pretty much in the scenario of lower highs, lower lows, which has been the theme. Other than that, looking at big tech stocks, let me see my list. Where is my list? Mega cap. I didn't really see much, a whole lot of movement. We had pretty much a flat day for the most part. Going down to 15 minutes, Apple didn't really do a whole lot. What we really saw this morning was we saw a really quick move right into open. It was about right into within 15 minutes of open where we got that gap down right at open there. And then pretty much everything either did somewhat of a V-shaped recovery or you got an intraday double bottom. That's what I actually noticed for a lot of names. Also one, and of course this one's actually in my small account. If you saw my position, I took a small put spread on Facebook. Pretty much this kind of looks how Nasdaq was before it broke down on Friday. So my mindset was is that I'm looking for support to break here on the sideways channel, and if that ends up breaking, then I'm looking close enough to the 371 mark, right around the 371 mark, where I'll probably take my profits if we end up breaking this channel, similar to how the pattern is on Nasdaq when it broke down Friday. Looking at Microsoft, Microsoft didn't do a whole lot. Again, you saw that kind of V-shaped recovery. For the most part, Netflix was another one that was a beautiful gap down. I believe Yopan actually took a play on this one on the small account. I don't know. I think he's actually playing the way up now. He took calls here. I think he's swinging that position. This is more so of a double bottom right here, if you notice. This is a little bit of a double bottom right about here. Let me get that. And that double bottom was right around the level of 584.78, where you see that double bottom. So I understand why he took calls there. So you'll get a nice little move up, probably close enough to 596. If market decides to rally tomorrow and CPI data looks good, otherwise that double bottom may break down, could go into a triple bottom, right? Other than that, let's go through some of the actual flow that came in today. What the algos picked up. I know that AMC was, I know Avery was all over AMC. We had some nice scalps on AMC. I saw some traders actually were able to capture about a good 5 to 10% gains. If you took in the money calls when those AMC rapids came out. The Apple ones also hit at the bottom as well. AMD, I saw some nice flow coming in on AMD. I don't know if anyone really took AMD. I know that Nvidia was a beautiful one. If I'm not mistaken, Dan actually took a position on Nvidia to go long. Looking at Apple, again, that double bottom formation right about here, where you see that double bottom, that would have been beautiful if you, again, pretty much similar patterns along across mega cap. So that's why it ended up picking up that double bottom, and you saw a lot of those rapid flows hit today. Other than that, let's see, major flow. Huh. Let me actually go into the announcements here. Let me roll into announcements. SPRT, I'll get there. I know that Tom's all over SPRT. Wow, I didn't realize that we actually had that many Fortuna alerts today. I didn't pay attention. I was gone a little bit around lunchtime. I know that Dougie was all over Adobe. Adobe was a nice one. Let me actually take a look at Adobe. A beautiful double bottom again. This is pretty much the ongoing scenario right here. A beautiful double bottom off of that drop down at open. So if you ended up catching that double bottom right there from 641, made a nice push all the way up to about mid 645. That was about a $4 move there that you caught. Let's see what else there was. Adobe, Netflix, Nvidia, PayPal. Let's look at Pfizer actually. Let's take a look and see what Pfizer did today. I haven't looked at Pfizer all day today. Pfizer with a nice rounding bottom, actually. That was a beautiful rounding bottom. The rounding bottoms were a little more harder to catch, because then you actually think it's gonna, maybe bear flag or it's gonna make another leg down. So those are a little bit more tough. But if you would have caught the alert, which let's see if I go into major flow. When did those rapids hit? And Snap was a beautiful one. I'll get the Snap's chart in just a second. AMC, AMD, Viacom. Huh. That was probably Fortuna signals then. Yeah, it was likely Fortuna signals that probably hit then if that's the case. Alright, yeah, but let's look at Snap. Snap was a beautiful one. I actually posted this chart on my Twitter. If you guys check that out. We had a beautiful wedge and this broke down hard. That was a massive candle for what Snap is. But what I actually mentioned is to keep an eye on this gap down. It has a nice beautiful gap down to 50 to 63, 67. That's going to be one to keep an eye on. See how that actually ends up going. Other than that, for the most part, we had a lot of alerts go off today. Today was actually a pretty nice day for scalps. If you ended up taking those alerts, a lot of scalps today was pretty much the theme. Not a lot of noise, not a lot of big runners today for the most part. That gap down in the first 15 minutes of the market open was pretty much the story of the day, and then just recovery. I think the most remarkable recovery we had today was Tesla. Tesla did a beautiful recovery today from down about $20 if I'm not mistaken. Pretty much all the way down to the bottom from 708 with a beautiful recovery all the way back up to 744. So that was a beautiful V-shaped recovery that Tesla did today. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to hold. I do have Tesla topping out close enough to this resistance level here of 780. I don't think it's going to get there necessarily. But that's my level of resistance here. If we end up do rallying, hopefully maybe CPI data is better than expected, and of course inflation is just going to run hotter. We'll see the market rally. What is SPRT doing? I mean, I'm hearing all this noise about SPRT. Did it actually like drop after hours? I wonder. Let me see what the numbers are after hours on SPRT. It's only down 27 cents. Come on. SPRT's fine. My target compared to Tomakazi and Thomas's target is not pretty. I think we're gonna get down close enough to that 1757 level. We'll see if it bounces there. That will be the level that I'm really looking at. If it breaks there, then I do have that 14 level. It's close enough to 1417 if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. 1432. 1415. And let's see. 1412. I think it's more 1450. That will be the level that I'll be watching if it breaks that 17 level. But I think, and I pretty much told Tamakaze this, I think it's more of a sell the news event now. Pretty much all the run up was already there. This is more of a sell the news now that the merger's already gone through. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's something about this stock actually going to be delisted and it's going to be converted to the new stock that's going to be pushing through. I'm not too certain what the name was. I think GEE or GREE, something like that. But other than that, I mean, SPRT again, I think it's a sell the news. We'll see if the 17 level holds, and then we'll go from there. BBIG, let me see what the update is on BBIG. A little of a bear flag there, it looks like. Not too pretty. I would like to see it hold right around here. I mean, it's right near support where it needs to hold. If I were to say the next level of support that should hold will be right around here, around that 873 level. That will be the next level of support if it does break down here. Um, Being that it's at support right now, I would expect some kind of leg up, maybe some kind of sort of double bottom here that it may end up forming. But if it ends up breaking support here, yeah, we're likely going to take another leg down, right down to that about 873 level. which I mentioned was right around here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's right around here. Around 872 would be that level of support. That'll be what I'll be looking at. Yeah, Tom, I think now might be the time to get out of that. I think now might be the time to scale out of that. I was mentioning, and I think I mentioned it on live too. Adder was a beautiful one. I think this is going to be making a beautiful move right here. Let me actually get out to a larger time frame so you can see the bigger move. Uh, this one's just straight line up. I think that we're going to end up going out to 22, around 22.41. That will end up getting out to that mark. I kind of am expecting the little gap up to 20, the $20 mark, and then we'll see if we end up holding that or if profit take comes in tomorrow. I'm leaning towards profit taking at open tomorrow on Adder, so we'll probably see it get right up to that $20 mark. Then we'll see some profit taking, and that might be the dip opportunity for those of you that are not in it. That might be the dip opportunity, and then you ride it straight up back to that 2041 level, and then that we'll see if it ends up breaking over that. If it gets over that, oof, that will be. I think that might actually trigger a bigger squeeze than we expect. But the next level that I would be looking at would be right around here. And let me see what level that is. That would be right around close enough to the $25 mark. We're looking at 24.90. Yeah, 24.90 will be that next level. If we end up getting over that $20 mark, that 22.41, then I'm looking close enough to that $25 mark. That will be the next target that I'm looking at. So again, I pretty much expect profit taking tomorrow morning, where we get a nice little gap up to 20, profit taking at open, and that'll be that buying opportunity for Adder, in my opinion. Other than that, I think for squeeze plays, that's pretty much the three that are primarily on watch. I know that Tom probably has some other ones. I don't know if he's still watching Zev. Um, Tom, are you still in Zev actually? Yeah, I actually had a resistance level here. It actually looks like it pushed past it, but that was last week. We could end up retesting it right around the $11 mark, but it's not looking too hot right now. We'll see how that ends up moving. I think Tom will probably give an update on that if we get a nice little squeeze close enough over that $10 mark. I'm sure he'll have his eyes on that. UPST, that's one that's actually on my small account. I did swing it. I'm a little bit in pain on that UPST, but I'm not too worried about it. I know that Avery was also, kind of looking at that. You could say that we have a head and shoulders going on here. This is really what I'm expecting to play out on this, because I do expect. I mean, that left shoulder is defined, head is defined. We'll see how that right shoulder does. I think we'll get a nice little curl down. Once we break that neckline, right around 262 level, that's when things will get ugly. And that's what I'll be here for. That's what I'm playing for. I'll pretty much address my stop loss tomorrow at open, so we'll see where it is at that point in time. I did mention I was also in Facebook, so I got a small position in Facebook. I think it's only like a $200 position, if I'm not mistaken. And I did a put spread on that because of how expensive it was. So that was more of a conservative play. I think I'm down like maybe like $18 on it. That'd be the case because of that end of the day push that we had. Other than that, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I don't, as far as, let me see what's, so I can give you guys a quick update, maybe to see if what Tom is really holding on his small account. I don't know if it's BBIG hurt, of course. I don't think Avery's really holding anything at this point in time. So that's pretty much just, I think he's just, yeah, he's going to have full buying power tomorrow. So stay tuned for Avery. For those of you that are on standard, or you'll have access to that, to his premium account. Because that's we have the premium small account, and then we have the free small account with me and Yopan. And then you have Tom and Avery that are on the premium ones, for those of you that are not aware. Other than that, again, CPI data is pretty much going to be the key tomorrow. We'll see what that really does for the market. I'm really going to be watching futures tomorrow to really see what happens at 8:30. Again, that daily candle is really what I'm watching on ES. That's really what my focus is going to be tomorrow to see. I think that's going to pretty much paint a picture for us to see if we're really going to hold this ascending channel tomorrow or if we're actually going to break down. Because I do think that this ascending channel is really due to break down at this point in time. And that inflation data might be that key that pushes that down. Yeah, I went over Tesla. Tesla was pretty much a V-shaped recovery. That entire gap down that we had at open, it was pretty much a V-shaped recovery. I know that I believe I called out that I was pushing for 730. I got some nice scalps on it. I think I got in right around the 722 mark, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right around here when it was trying to consolidate off of that V shape. I ended up getting around 722, and then I exited right around 726. I got in 722 and I scalped it to 726. And then I got out and I was not expecting that to continue running. That was a beautiful V-shaped recovery, like nonstop. And then I actually did get a small position in puts. We'll see how that goes, but that's on my main account. And then also for the newsletter, GM was a beautiful play today also for the newsletter play. My alert triggered today on that. Right around that 50.42 level was when that alert triggered. If I pull out to the daily so you get the big picture on GM, pretty much this was when the alert triggered. That beautiful green candle went right over. And then I'm looking to test the resistance of the downtrend. So I'm expecting a continuation tomorrow, regardless how the market's really going to be looking. We'll see how that is. But I'm expecting to test that downtrend. So we should get a push close enough to the high 52 mark. It just depends how much that accelerates, how much that pushes north. It all depends. And of course, that gap fill is really what's in play to push it towards that resistance of the downtrend. Other than that, I think that kind of wraps up tonight. But we'll see tomorrow what happens. I'm expecting a bigger move from mega cap tech stocks because today was pretty much a flat day for the most part for them. I didn't see much out of Microsoft. I didn't see much out of Facebook or Apple. Of course, we have the Apple event tomorrow too. I believe it's around 10 a.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken, or is it usually around the afternoon? We'll get an update. I'm sure we'll get that in premium, and we'll kind of give you guys an update on that Apple event that's going on, and we'll see how the stock does. Typically, usually sells off after the event, so we'll see how that does after once that event starts. We'll see likely a sell-off, and we'll be here for it. Other than that, I think that kind of wraps up today. We'll see tomorrow what's going on, and hopefully that CPI data isn't as bad as expected for the bulls out there, and we'll see some kind of rally if that be the case. Otherwise, I guess we'll see some lower lows, right? I think that'll pretty much wrap up tonight, though. For those of you guys, go watch some football, get some rest, and study up. All right, you guys have a good night.